Okay, let's get straight into it. Israel, just the name itself, can start a full-blown debate. It's a small country, but it packs a punch in global headlines. You can't scroll through your news feed without bumping into something about Israel. The opinions are strong, feelings run deep, and everyone seems to have a take. The situation is intense, with recent events turning up the volume on an already loud issue. From university campuses to international forums, people are talking, protesting, and demanding answers. Understanding why Israel evokes such powerful emotions is about understanding a key piece of the global puzzle. It's a complex story, with layers of history, politics, and personal experiences. We're going to look at the historical roots, the main points of contention, and how the world is reacting. The goal is to lay out different perspectives, key facts, and context so you can make more sense of the headlines. To understand the current scene with Israel, we have to rewind. The story doesn't begin with the latest news alert. A pivotal moment is 1948, the year the State of Israel was established. For Jewish people, this was monumental, seen as the creation of a homeland after generations of persecution. However, 1948 is viewed very differently by Palestinians, who call it the Nakba, or catastrophe. This period saw hundreds of thousands of Palestinians displaced from their homes. They became refugees, many ending up in neighboring Arab countries or in what would become the West Bank and Gaza Strip. The declaration of Israeli statehood was immediately followed by a war between the new state and its Arab neighbors. This conflict and subsequent wars redrew maps and deepened enmities. Issues of land ownership, the right of return for Palestinian refugees, and security concerns for Israel all have their origins in this turbulent period. For Israelis, it's about survival and self-determination. For Palestinians, it's about dispossession and the aspiration for statehood and justice. Let's zoom into the nitty-gritty, the stuff that keeps diplomats busy and activists marching. A huge part of the tension revolves around land, the West Bank, East Jerusalem, and the Gaza Strip. These are territories that Israel occupied following the 1967 Six-Day War. Palestinians envision these lands as part of their future independent state. Israeli settlements in these areas are seen as illegal under international law and a major obstacle to a two-state solution. There are also accusations of human rights violations, with restrictions on Palestinian movement and demolitions of homes. Israel defends its actions as necessary for security, citing threats from militant groups. The events of October 7, 2023, and the subsequent Israeli military response in Gaza brought these issues into sharper focus. Hamas launched a brutal attack on southern Israel, leading to a devastating Israeli offensive in Gaza. This cycle of violence has intensified global scrutiny and condemnation. The world is watching reactions, rights, and rifts. The international community isn't just a passive observer, it's deeply involved and often divided. We've seen widespread condemnation of Israeli actions from many countries and organizations. The humanitarian crisis in Gaza led to urgent calls for ceasefires and investigations into alleged war crimes. The sheer number of civilian casualties has horrified many around the world. This condemnation sometimes translates into action, like calls for boycotts. Cultural events like the Eurovision Song Contest have become battlegrounds for political statements. Jerusalem, sacred to Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, is a constant source of friction. Internal Jewish opposition to certain Israeli policies also exists, highlighting the diversity of views within the Jewish community. Similarly, within Gaza, there are differing opinions on Hamas's actions. These complexities show how deeply intertwined and emotional the issue is. Global Game of Thrones, big powers and bigger questions. The strong opinions about Israel are heavily influenced by international politics and alliances. The US has been Israel's closest ally, providing substantial military, economic, and diplomatic backing. This support fuels a lot of anti-Israel sentiment, particularly in the Arab and Muslim world. The US-Israel relationship is seen as a cornerstone of American foreign policy in the Middle East. Public opinion in Western countries can be far more critical of Israeli actions, especially when civilian casualties mount. Social media plays a huge role in shaping global perceptions, giving voice to Palestinian perspectives. Understanding why Israel faces strong opinions requires looking at the painful history, unresolved disputes, and global power dynamics. The strong feelings arise because this isn't just a geopolitical issue, It's about justice, human rights, and security for all involved. There are no easy answers, and simplistic narratives rarely capture the full truth. This story continues to unfold, with profound implications for millions of lives.